Space remains one of the most mysterious frontiers humanity has ever encountered. The vastness of the cosmos makes it nearly impossible to completely rule out the existence of other intelligent life forms. Edward Snowden, the former National Security Agency contractor who became one of the most significant whistleblowers in modern history, has turned his attention to a topic that many dismissed as fringe: unidentified flying objects and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. What he discovered about government knowledge of UFOs and potential alien encounters is far more complex and unsettling than the public has been led to believe. Snowden's revelations suggest that governments, particularly the United States government, have been deliberately withholding critical information about unidentified aerial phenomena. This challenges fundamental assumptions about what governments choose to share with their citizens and what they decide to keep hidden behind walls of classification. Most portrayals of extraterrestrials in popular media, from classic stories like War of the Worlds to modern films such as Independence Day, focus on hostility, violence, and the destruction of beings from other worlds. These fictional images often describe aliens as hostile, self-centered, and unconcerned with the survival or well-being of humanity. Well-known thinkers such as Stephen Hawking, David Brin, and Elon Musk have publicly shared worries about this possible scenario. Still, there is no solid evidence showing that extraterrestrial beings are hostile or dangerous. Based on what science currently suggests, choosing to hide humanity from potential alien life might actually turn out to be one of the most harmful decisions our species could make. Why are so many people today willing to believe that alien life may exist? There is a strong possibility that other life forms exist somewhere in the universe, as many discoveries and theories from leading scientists point to the likelihood of life beyond Earth. The real question is no longer about whether life exists elsewhere, but rather what kind of life it could be, and what would happen if contact were made. The fear surrounding first contact largely comes from human history. When societies with very different levels of technology have met on Earth, the outcome has often been disastrous for the less advanced group. This pattern causes understandable anxiety about meeting a species far more advanced than humans. However, this fear may reflect human behavior more than any real knowledge about the intentions of extraterrestrial life. On November 14, 2004, Commander David Fravor still struggles to explain how a routine training flight near San Diego became an event he would never forget. He reported seeing a Tic Tac shaped object that moved far faster than any aircraft or weapon known at the time. The mission began as a standard air defense exercise, with 2 friendly jets facing 2 opposing jets, flown in newly introduced Super Hornets. The situation changed when the USS Princeton contacted Fravor and his team and directed them to investigate a real-world incident. After changing course, the pilots noticed something unusual below the aircraft. It appeared to be a submerged plane, or a submarine just beneath the ocean surface, moving unpredictably. The object was white, had no wings, and showed no visible rotors. Infrared systems detected no exhaust, which would normally be present in any known aircraft. Driven by curiosity, Fravor moved in for a closer look. The object rose from the water, climbed rapidly, and began to mirror Fravor's flight path as he descended. Within seconds, it accelerated past the nose of his jet and vanished completely. The speed and maneuverability were beyond anything known to exist in the military technology of any nation. After landing on the USS Nimitz, Fravor and the other pilots reported the encounter to the crew. A second pilot was launched to search for the object and successfully located it. This pilot achieved a weapons lock and recorded video footage of the Tic Tac. According to the Navy, the footage was not intended for public release, but was later officially published after it had already been leaked. The event is widely regarded as one of the most credible UFO encounters in modern history. Multiple trained military pilots observed the object, supported by radar tracking and infrared video, all indicating flight behavior that challenges known physics. The Nimitz encounter cannot be easily dismissed as misidentification, weather effects, or pilot error, as the evidence and witness credibility are unusually strong. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like so YouTube can recommend it to even more people. Tap the hype button right below if you're watching on your phone. The growing number of reported UFO sightings has created serious concerns about national defense and the safety of controlled airspace. Many of these reports describe objects with advanced abilities that appear far beyond known human technology. This raises an important question of whether these unidentified objects could pose a threat to national security, especially given reports of extreme speed and maneuverability supported by credible military sources. From a defense perspective, the inability to clearly identify or track unknown objects operating in restricted airspace is troubling. Possible risks include surveillance by unknown actors or the chance that rival nations are using highly advanced and unfamiliar aircraft for intelligence or military purposes. Because of these risks, governments, particularly the United States, have begun to treat these sightings with greater seriousness than in the past. Official responses have combined acknowledgement with limited disclosure. In recent years, statements from the Pentagon and discussions in the Senate have confirmed that these sightings are real, marking a shift away from earlier denial or silence. At the same time, the lack of detailed public information has fueled speculation about whether officials are trying to avoid panic or protect sensitive defense weaknesses. There are also concerns about possible hidden motives. Some argue that UFO sightings could be used to justify higher military spending or distract the public from other major issues. Balancing genuine security needs with the risk of misuse remains a topic of debate. Combined with the unknown origin and intent behind these objects, the issue demands careful attention from both governments and the public. Beyond immediate defense concerns, the implications are even broader. If these objects belong to rival nations, it would suggest a major intelligence failure and a serious technological gap. If they are something entirely different, the consequences could be far more profound, raising fundamental questions about humanity's place in the universe. In recent years, the role of governments in shaping stories about UFOs has become a subject of strong debate and speculation. Information revealed by Edward Snowden has added new attention to this issue, pointing to the possible use of UFO narratives as a way to influence how the public thinks. This approach goes beyond simple storytelling. It suggests a deliberate effort to guide public focus and shape opinions in carefully chosen directions. The idea of the deep state, often mentioned in conversations about secrecy within governments, is central to this discussion. The term usually refers to groups within government that act quietly and outside normal public oversight. In relation to UFOs, some believe the deep state may create or exaggerate stories about alien encounters. This serves two goals at once. It draws attention away from serious political or social concerns and keeps an atmosphere of mystery surrounding UFOs. By doing so, the public remains focused on these stories while other important issues may receive less scrutiny. These methods carry serious risks, especially when it comes to public trust and confidence in government. When people discover or suspect that information has been intentionally shaped or misleading, trust in government institutions can weaken. This doubt does not stay limited to UFO topics but spreads to other areas of policy and leadership. Citizens may begin to question whether official statements are honest and whether transparency truly exists. As mistrust grows, the effects can be long-lasting and damaging, weakening the basic relationship between leaders and the public. These concerns go far beyond debates about unidentified objects or alien life. They involve larger issues of openness, public understanding, and the balance of trust that supports democratic systems. The suggested use of UFO narratives, as discussed in Snowden's disclosures, highlights the complex and often unseen forces that influence public conversation. The shaping of UFO information may be only one example of how governments manage narratives to support certain goals. This leads to deeper questions about what other information might be handled in similar ways, and why such actions are taken. Edward Snowden offers a very different view of the recent surge in UFO media coverage. Known for exposing government surveillance programs, Snowden argues that the heavy focus on UFOs acts as a distraction from serious issues that require public awareness and careful examination. One major example he points to is the Nord Stream pipeline incident. This pipeline, vital for gas transport between Russia and Europe, was reportedly sabotaged in what could be considered an act of international aggression. Snowden notes that instead of sustained media attention on this event and its economic and political consequences, coverage shifted toward dramatic UFO stories, reducing public focus on a potentially global crisis. According to Snowden, this type of distraction is not new. He describes it as engineered panic, meaning fear and urgency are deliberately created through sensational topics. Stories about unidentified flying objects and possible alien threats stir strong emotions, making it easier for serious matters like the pipeline incident to fade from public concern. Snowden's observations highlight troubling aspects of modern media behavior. They raise questions about how news priorities are set, and how easily public attention can be redirected away from events with real-world consequences. This approach allows those in power to shape public discussion while limiting scrutiny of sensitive issues. History shows this pattern repeating itself. During times of political controversy or economic trouble, sensational stories often rise to prominence. UFO narratives are especially effective because they provoke fear and fascination, keeping audiences engaged while more important topics receive less attention. In November 1944, many members of the United States Air Force reported seeing strange objects that later became known as Foo Fighters, a name taken from the Smokey Stover comic strip. These Foo Fighters were described as mysterious aircraft that glowed red and showed remarkable agility, darting and turning through the sky during World War II missions over Europe. The first reported sighting came from Lieutenant Fred Ringwald, who was a passenger aboard a night fighter flying over the Rhine Valley. Airmen reported seeing 8 to 10 lights arranged in a straight line. Concerned that they might be enemy aircraft, the crew contacted ground radar teams, but radar operators detected nothing unusual. When one pilot attempted to turn toward the objects to engage, the lights vanished as suddenly as they had appeared. After this initial incident, reports continued. In mid-December 1944, another pilot described seeing a T-shaped formation of flashing red and green lights. As with earlier sightings, the lights disappeared quickly without leaving any evidence or explanation. Similar encounters were reported repeatedly for the rest of the war, and despite many efforts to understand them, they remain unexplained. Several theories were suggested at the time. Some believed the pilots were suffering from stress or fatigue and experiencing hallucinations. Others thought the lights could be caused by unusual weather patterns or rare atmospheric effects. The most troubling idea was that the objects were advanced secret weapons developed by Nazi Germany. However, after the war ended and Nazi facilities were thoroughly investigated, no proof of such technology was ever discovered. The Foo Fighter sightings are considered among the earliest well-recorded cases of military encounters with unexplained aerial phenomena. Because these events occurred during wartime, when pilots were highly trained and constantly alert, the reports carry added weight. These observers were experienced combat pilots whose survival depended on correctly identifying objects in the sky. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program was launched by the Department of Defense in 2007 to study hard-to-explain aerial phenomena, often involving fast and unidentified aircraft. The secret program was led by military intelligence official Luis Elizondo and focused on examining UFO reports and possible national security risks. Elizondo resigned from the Pentagon about 10 years later and confirmed the program's existence in an interview with the New York Times, bringing public attention to ongoing government interest in these phenomena. The program's existence is important for several reasons. It shows that the government viewed these sightings as serious enough to justify funding and dedicated personnel. Its classified status suggests the findings were considered sensitive. Elizondo's decision to speak publicly also points to his concern that the issue was not receiving sufficient attention despite its potential security implications. Beyond government efforts, private organizations have also played a role in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Astronomers Carl Sagan and Jill Tarter helped establish the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute, which works with NASA and the National Science Foundation as a research contractor. The institute combines resources to study whether intelligent life may exist beyond Earth. The organization's mission is to understand how life and intelligence develop in the universe. Its research uses radio signals, optical methods, and laser detection to search for signs of advanced technology. This reflects a structured scientific approach to a question that has long fascinated humanity. A broad scientific community supports this search. NASA announced on March 21, 2022, that more than 5,000 exoplanets have been confirmed, with discoveries increasing as technology improves. Many of these worlds remain unexplored, and others have yet to be found, some of which may support life. These discoveries have reshaped the discussion about extraterrestrial life. What was once speculation is now supported by observable data. Scientists can estimate probabilities using real findings, and the growing number of potentially habitable planets suggests that life elsewhere in the universe may be likely rather than rare. With billions of galaxies, each holding billions of stars, the chances seem strong that life could exist elsewhere. Even basic calculations suggest that the universe should contain many forms of life. The well-known Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, points out a puzzling problem. While the likelihood of alien civilizations appears high, there is no clear evidence or confirmed contact with them. This contradiction has led to many scientific explanations. Some believe advanced civilizations are extremely rare or tend to destroy themselves soon after developing powerful technology. Others argue that vast distances make communication nearly impossible, or that alien societies may have no interest in contacting humanity at all. Finding extraterrestrial life would have strong and wide-ranging effects. It could change how scientists understand biology, since life elsewhere might not be based on carbon like life on Earth. Such a discovery could also affect philosophy and religion by challenging ideas about humanity's role in the universe and the belief that human life is unique. It would also raise serious questions about how humans might interact with alien beings and what their intentions could be. They might be peaceful explorers, or they could represent a potential danger. Edward Snowden offers a different viewpoint based on his experience in intelligence and access to classified systems. His perspective encourages people to think not only about whether alien life exists, but also about how governments might respond if proof were found. A major concern is whether such information would be shared openly with the public or kept secret out of fear that it could cause panic or instability. As space exploration continues and the search for life expands, the mystery of the universe fuels both excitement and concern. This pursuit aims to answer one of humanity's oldest questions while also preparing for the serious consequences such a discovery could bring. The search for extraterrestrial life stands as one of the most significant scientific efforts ever undertaken, with the potential to change civilization in lasting ways. As scientists learn more about the universe, the likelihood that humanity is not alone continues to grow. With countless worlds spread across the cosmos and improving tools to detect signals, the question is no longer just whether life exists, but whether humans truly want to discover it. Some wonder if alien civilizations would be peaceful explorers or potential threats. This topic has moved beyond science fiction and into serious scientific discussion. Many astronomers are actively searching for evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence. Some argue that humanity should send signals into space to announce its presence and invite contact. Others believe remaining silent is safer, and that drawing attention could carry unknown risks. Edward Snowden discussed this issue in a podcast conversation with astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, offering a perspective based on his background in intelligence. Snowden suggested that alien communications might be so heavily encrypted that humans would not recognize them as meaningful signals. He argued that unencrypted communication is only common during a short phase in the development of a technological civilization. According to Snowden, there is a brief window when a civilization first develops radio technology and broadcasts simple, unprotected signals. Once encryption becomes standard, which happens relatively quickly, those transmissions would appear as random noise to outside observers. This would make it extremely difficult for other civilizations to detect or understand them. If this idea is correct, the time period during which a civilization sends easily detectable signals may last only decades or, at most, a century. When compared to the immense age of the universe, the chance that two civilizations overlap during this brief window becomes very small, complicating efforts to detect extraterrestrial life. Still, researchers involved in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence offer reassurance. They emphasize that understanding the content of a message is not required. The goal is to detect evidence of technology itself. According to researchers like Seth Shostak, finding a signal that shows the presence of a transmitter would already confirm the existence of an advanced civilization, even if the message cannot be decoded. Snowden was speaking about encryption in general terms, and was not offering a detailed analysis of alien communication research. Scientists point out that encryption may not matter because certain types of signals are easy to detect regardless of content. Radio remains the primary method used in the search, with large telescopes scanning for narrowband signals that would stand out from natural cosmic noise. The discussion between Snowden and Neil deGrasse Tyson highlights broader questions about how civilizations communicate and why they choose specific methods. Researchers are also exploring alternatives such as optical and infrared signals. While radio is not the only option, it remains the most practical and effective tool available with current technology. The Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who famously asked, "Where is everyone?" highlights a puzzling contradiction. In a galaxy filled with countless worlds, there have been no confirmed alien signals or visits. Why is Earth not receiving transmissions or encountering extraterrestrial visitors? Since 1950, scientists have proposed many explanations, drawing from biology, technology, and social behavior. Aliens may avoid humanity, see no reason to contact us, or communicate in ways humans cannot detect. It is also possible that alien civilizations lack advanced communication tools or exist too far away to be noticed. While some suggest aliens may not exist at all, this idea seems less likely, given the growing number of potentially habitable planets. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence is one of the most ambitious scientific efforts ever attempted. It demands long-term patience, advanced technology, and acceptance that results may take decades or longer. Scientists must also make educated guesses about how alien civilizations might communicate, often based on human technology, which may not reflect alien methods. Different strategies focus on various parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. Radio waves are widely used because they travel far and are energy efficient. Optical searches look for powerful laser pulses that could serve as signals. Some researchers also search for evidence of massive engineering projects, such as star-spanning structures, which could leave detectable signs across vast distances. A major difficulty is telling artificial signals apart from natural ones. Many natural cosmic sources can appear artificial. Pulsars, for example, were once mistaken for alien signals due to their regular pulses before being identified as rotating neutron stars. Any potential discovery must be carefully studied and confirmed before concluding. The Breakthrough Initiatives is a non-profit organization focused on interstellar research and outreach, funded by technology entrepreneur Yuri Milner. Its planned Breakthrough Message program is expected to spark renewed debate about sending messages to extraterrestrial intelligence. The program would invite ideas from around the world on what a message should contain and how it might be transmitted, marking a move from passive listening to active communication. Pete Worden, director of Breakthrough Initiatives, has acknowledged that opinions differ sharply on whether humanity should send messages into space. Members of the advisory panel hold strong views on both sides. Worden describes the effort as a way for humanity to think carefully about how it would represent itself and how it might respond, rather than an immediate plan to transmit a message. Panel members have suggested that images may be the most effective form of communication, as they can contain large amounts of information. This leads to technical challenges, such as how to encode images so they can be received and understood. Breakthrough Message is studying issues like whether to use radio waves or lasers, which wavelengths to choose, how often to send a message, and how to protect it from distortion over interstellar distances. Research by Philip Lubin at the University of California, Santa Barbara, has outlined laser systems that could theoretically broadcast signals across vast regions of space. The Breakthrough Listen project, funded at $100 million, continues to search nearby star systems for signs of life and to identify promising targets for possible messages. Worden has noted that Edward Snowden's comments about encryption raise questions about detecting alien signals in the distant future. Though advancing technology may improve long-range detection, encryption may matter less than the fact that a civilization could simply choose not to transmit. Douglas Vakoch adds that Earth has become quieter as communications shift away from radio leakage, making missed contact more likely. For now, searching for direct messages remains the best option, guided by past efforts like the 1974 Arecibo message, which relied on simple mathematics to make decoding possible. Some scientists, including Stephen Hawking, argued that seeking contact with extraterrestrial intelligence may be a serious mistake. Hawking stated in 2010 that meeting aliens could resemble the encounter between Christopher Columbus and Native Americans, which ended disastrously for the less advanced society. He warned that intelligent life might not act peacefully toward humanity. Others have echoed similar concerns, describing scenarios where advanced alien civilizations could exploit Earth's resources, harm humanity, or even destroy life if human signals act like a beacon. Physicist Mark Buchanan has argued that actively sending messages is morally questionable, since any civilization capable of detecting us would likely be far more advanced and not necessarily friendly. History offers strong reasons for caution. Human encounters between civilizations with large technological gaps have often ended in conquest. Colonization across the Americas, Africa, and Asia devastated indigenous societies. If humanity were the weaker party in an encounter with aliens, the outcome could be devastating. Still, some scientists argue that humanity has already revealed itself. Radio and television signals have been leaking into space for over a century, and the Voyager probes now travel through interstellar space, carrying evidence of human existence. From this view, remaining silent may no longer be possible. Human fear of aliens is rooted in human behavior. If advanced civilizations share humanity's history of violence and expansion, concern is justified. Others suggest optimism, arguing that any civilization capable of interstellar travel would have solved internal conflict and resource scarcity, making them peaceful by necessity. This remains speculative. Whether to actively send messages or stay silent may be one of humanity's most important decisions. Despite the stakes, there is no global agreement, no governing authority, and no clear plan for how humanity should proceed. Edward Snowden's insights into UFOs and government secrecy reveal a disturbing pattern of information control and public manipulation. Whether the unidentified aerial phenomena observed by credible military witnesses represent advanced human technology, foreign adversaries, or non-human intelligence, the lack of transparency from governments is deeply concerning. The evidence suggests that much more is known than has been shared with the public. Edward Snowden's warning about UFOs is ultimately a warning about the dangers of secrecy and the importance of transparency in democratic societies. Whether the truth about unidentified aerial phenomena involves aliens, advanced human technology, or something else entirely, the public has a right to know. The future of humanity may depend on making informed decisions based on accurate information rather than allowing governments to control narratives and manipulate public perception. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming journeys. And if you enjoy exploring the most compelling evidence of extraterrestrial life captured on camera, check out my video of revealed UFO sightings. Click on the tab displayed on the screen now. Enjoy the video. Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.